What's up, Chicky Parm League? It's your bish, the commish. Your boy is here to give you guys a 2025-2026 season review of the draft that we did a couple days ago. I apologize on this being out late. As you know, your boy got daughter number two, no sons in this house, and I don't be sleeping a lot. um, really, Etta didn't have a nap today because she didn't want to. Then she screamed for an hour till she fell asleep. But anyway, I'm gonna get right to it. Honestly, what I'm gonna tell you guys at the very beginning here is that as far as everything goes this year, this is kind of a tough draft. I did another draft on Sunday for the league I'm in with Erica, and what I feel about every player is that, damn, that dude is close to 30 or over 30, or damn, that guy's kind of young. Is he really going to have a breakout year? So honestly, I don't think I'm going to feel that great about anybody's draft. I'll like a lot of guys, and then I'll dislike some guys, but there's just so much room to be right, so much room to be wrong this year that there aren't a lot of things that I'm going to absolutely love. I don't feel that strongly about a lot of these teams, but I'm sure some of y'all messed some things up. So let's get right to it. Because I'm doing this late because I got kids, I don't know if I'm going to put like pictures and stuff to the side or whatever. This might just be this video. So go ahead, pull up Sleeper app. You can rationalize stuff yourself, look along or not, whatever. But first up with the number one pick, we had Team Horse Milk, and Jeffrey Wallace decided to go with Saquon Barkley at the number one spot. Saquon's my boy. 2K say he was just voted number one player in the NFL 100 list, Super Bowl champion. I love him. He's a great player. He is not too old. I would have gone Bijan personally. Could he get 2,000 yards again? Highly, 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 highly unlikely. Is he even going to get like 1,600? Even that's tough. I don't think any player's ever gone over 1,500 after the 2,000 yard season. He's still going to be very good. I don't really have health concerns about him. The Eagles' offensive line is great. They're going to primarily run the ball. It is a very good pick. I just probably would have gone with Bijan because I thought we started to see last year that Bijan was becoming that guy. But props, that's not a bad pick. That's a very good pick. Your second pick, however, achane. It's been 2 years since he had like that semi-breakout season where the Dolphins scored 70 points in a game, and then last year he didn't really do anything, and he was healthy most of the year. I just don't see it with achane myself. Obviously, the Dolphins are a weird mess of talent, but is it going to actually come to fruition? I wouldn't have gone with him with the second pick. T-Shirt is a very good pick. I would have gone with a more surefire number one. McLaurin would have still been on the board at that point. I would have liked him over T-Shirt. I probably would have taken. I don't know. I think T-Shirt, he was right in the right spot. Terry McLaurin's probably the guy that I would have liked a little bit more there, but T-Shirt's good. The Bengals defense is going to suck. They're going to be throwing the ball around. Garrett Wilson, he lives through bad quarterbacking all the time. So he is going to get 1,000 yards. He's going to get like 7 touchdowns. You can put him down for, but it just sucks that he's got bad quarterbacking. That's sort of a tough draw. Sam Laporta at your number 5 spot. Tight end was so bad last year. It was basically you either had Brock Bowers or you didn't. That was it. And so personally, I wouldn't gamble on a tight end this high. Obviously, there were several guys taken. Any one of those guys could be the guy. None of those are necessarily bad picks. I just wouldn't have gambled on it because last year it was so bad. And again, there's a lot of talent on that offense. You got Laporta, you got Jamison Williams, you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, you got Jahmyr Gibbs. And they lost Ben Johnson. So are they going to be as prolific? Even last year, not everybody ate the same. So I personally wouldn't have done it and gone high tight end, and I wouldn't have gone high Sam Laporta, but it's not a bad pick. Justin Herbert. All right. I do not think he's worth a high pick at all right now. He does not have the weapons that other quarterbacks have. Last year, all Jim Harbaugh wanted to do is run the ball, so he only threw for like 23 touchdowns, even though he didn't have any interceptions. And now he's going to be working with similarly not a ton of weapons. He's got a new running back in Amarion Hampton, so they're going to want to run the ball. And their left tackle, Rashawn Slater, just got hurt. So now it's got to run the ball to protect him because you can have him dropping back a bunch of times. Unfortunately, I don't like Justin Herbert. He's a talented quarterback, but he has not put up like that 30-plus touchdown season in a couple years now. So it's tough for me to see him specifically being as prolific as you want a quarterback to be when you draft him at that spot. And again, there are guys you could have gotten later that I think have just as much upside as Justin. Not as much talent, but just as much upside. Baker Mayfield, I don't know how this snaked around, but Baker Mayfield is somebody who, in that spot, he threw 41 touchdowns last year. He was a top 10 quarterback 2 years ago. He was number 4 last year. Baker Mayfield would have been awesome. Upside of Brock Purdy, I like. Jared Goff, I think, has an opportunity still to throw a bunch of touchdowns. He went super late in this draft. Dak Prescott, when he's healthy, he's going to be slinging the ball. Their defense is going to be bad. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of Justin Herbert at that spot. He's fine, but at that spot, I don't like it. Something's wrong with Joe Mixon. You got Joe Mixon as your third running back, Jeff, and I don't know what his injury is. They didn't put him on the PUP, so I guess he's going to play soon. But he might be pretty beat up. If he's not beat up, that's a really good pick. That's a steal because the Texans, he's really good when he's healthy, and he's been really good for the Texans. Next up, you got Ricky Pearsall, and I do not know what to expect from him. That could also be a steal because he got shot in the chest last year, which is wild. And then the 49ers were just kind of going through a funk, but he could easily emerge as their most dependable receiver this upcoming year. I don't know if that'll happen, but it is possible. So high upside on that, but obviously a low floor. Zach Charbonnet, if Kenneth Walker gets hurt, I think Zach Charbonnet is good, but right now it looks like Kenneth Walker does have the starting job there, but I think that's a fine depth pick for running back. Brandon Ayuk, assuming he comes back healthy also, because the 49ers just have all the receivers beat up in some way. He's obviously a talented guy. It's kind of crazy to see him so low, but we don't know what he's going to look like. We don't know what the 49ers offense is going to look like necessarily. And, there are some question marks, but having him and Pearsall is a little bit weird, but, it's kind of, I probably wouldn't have gone for both of them because there's just a chance where the 49ers stink and you got 2 shares of that offense right now. Ramondre Stevenson is losing his job, I think, to a better running back, but he might still get some goal line touches. He's an option. God, I just would not have taken him, man. I just would have left him on the board. Rico Dowdle. You got 6 running backs, and I like one of them, and I like the other one when he's healthy and mixing. Jesus Christ, Jeff. Obviously, I wasn't there in person for the draft, so if Jeff did this while he was relatively drunk, I get it. Or if he was high, I also get it. But it's not that weird that I really suspect that. I think I just disagree with what he sees in these guys. Justin Fields, you got that rushing floor, so he's going to be so good. And I don't think the Jets have a good quarterback room, so I think no matter how bad he plays, he's going to keep his job. So I actually like that pick. I think that Justin Fields could end up being better than Justin Herbert pretty easily. Bills defense, they've got a good defense, so that's solid. Mike Gesicki as your second tight end. Yeah, I definitely like that because the Bengals offense and Jake Elliott as your kicker, that was the last pick, so that's all fine. I'm not a fan. Sorry. I'm not a fan of what Horse Milk is producing this year. But, obviously there's lots of room to be wrong. You just bet on some things that I think there are question marks on. And there's depth in this draft. But I would have mostly bet on more young guys than the older guys who are injured. And I think you just really avoided most of the younger players, Jeff. I don't think you didn't get any rookies. The youngest guy you got is Pearsall, who's a second-year player. I think that the young talent in the later rounds is kind of what I probably would have bet on in this draft, but we'll see if I'm wrong. We'll see if I'm right. Probably be wrong. I haven't really done that well in this league in a while. Next up, we got the reigning champion of the Chicky Parm League. That's right, Mr. Ryan Mullins. Back at it again. With the number 2 pick, you take Jamar Chase. That's number one in PPR leagues and half PPR leagues. I think in this league, we're running back pilled. We all think running backs are just what you need to win. Uh, but also we're standard scoring, so it's really hard for us to get it's hard for mid-level receivers to produce well for us because they don't get points for receptions. So when a guy's just getting like randomly 30, 40 yards, that sucks because he's not getting those 5, 6 catches to get there. But Jamar Chase is awesome. Again, he's in an offense where they're going to throw the ball a lot. Him and Joe Burrow, they are best friends. If anybody watched this most recent season of quarterback, they talk to Jamar Chase when they want to find out about Joe Burrow. Those boys are tight. I don't know if they do butt stuff, but and then you went back to A.J. Brown. You got him at the end of the first round or at the beginning of the second last year. And A.J. Brown right there is very good. He is in an offense where they don't throw the ball a lot, but when they throw the ball, they're going to throw it to 3 people. And A.J. Brown is number 1 on those people, then Devontae, then Dallas Goedert. Everybody else, you better start blocking for say. So those are 2 high upside wide receivers. And then coming back, you get Kyren Williams as your running back. I don't want Kyren Williams, but Kyren Williams is good. Sean McVay wants to run the ball to set up the pass. He loves running outside zone. He loves power running schemes. Kyren Williams is very good to get there in the third to round out when you've got 2 power wide receivers. David Montgomery as your 4th pick, second running back. The question is, we now all know for a fact Jahmyr Gibbs is the best running back on the Lions team. When Jahmyr Gibbs was a rookie, David Montgomery was the starter, and we're like, oh, we'll see what Gibbs can do. You know, he's like a big play guy, and they split time. And then at the end of the year, they were like, oh, Gibbs is kind of nice. Then last year, Montgomery gets hurt, and it was pretty much all Gibbs for most of the year. And it's like, that might be like top 3 running backs in the league. So how's that going to eat into David Montgomery's carries? What's the Lions offense going to look like? Their center retired. I know they lost Zeitler. Their right guard got traded. They still got Penei Sewell. They still got guys on that line. They're still going to run the hell out of the ball. They still got a crazy head coach in Dan Campbell. So Montgomery's still good. How good? How good is he going to be? So that's the question. But at that point, I do like the pick. It's just tough. Then we got T.J. Hockenson at tight end. Again, tight end's a wasteland. I would not have spent the draft capital betting that a tight end's going to be worth it at that spot. I'd rather take more shots at the dartboard trying to get a running back who's going to pop off, a wide receiver who's going to pop off, or who's going to get to take place because of injury than go tight end. But Hawkinson's talented. You're relying on seeing what J.J. McCarthy can do in his first full year as a starter. At least he's got a good head coach in Kevin O'Connell. Then you got Bo Nix. Hate that pick. I hate it. Don't know why you took Bo Nix that early. Bo Nix going that early, crazy. I don't know if that's what his ADP was at, that's a normal spot to take him. I can't remember. I think I said something to you when we were together for the draft. But I'm like, Bo Nix that early is crazy. That's absolutely absurd. He came on late last year. I don't think he's that good. That's crazy to take Bo Nix that early. Even if he's good, that's crazy. I just wouldn't have done it. Wild. So going back to what I said with Jeff, but your next pick, Tedero McMillan, I like Ted. I think the Carolina Panthers offense is going to be way better than people think because they think it's going to be dog water. And they were playing a lot better last year. And the thing is, their defense is still going to suck. Their defense does not project well, but I think they're going to be a more functional offense, particularly passing, because Bryce was looking like the guy he was supposed to be when they drafted him out of Alabama. So Tedero McMillan, word is that he is, if it wasn't for Travis Hunter, I think he probably would have been the number 1 wide receiver taken in the draft, but Travis Hunter exists and he's a dual threat player. So Ted was second, but I like Ted a lot. I think there's high upside there. So you've got 3 receivers I really like, a running back I really like, and a running back that could be good this year. I just don't know because he is not the best back on that team. So you're looking good. Then you took Cam Scatabo, the Scat Man. My entire family is sleeping right now, so hopefully this is not keeping my wife awake. That's cool. I have no feelings on that. He was an interesting real-life draft prospect because he's basically like a white fullback, essentially, but he's a little bit faster, so he's actually a running back. I don't know how they're going to use him. Maybe he'll be like an H-back for him, play a little tight end, get out there, be versatile, and it'll be cool for you. maybe he'll get like 2 carries a game. I don't know, but that's fine. Cooper Kupp wouldn't have drafted Cooper Kupp this year. I don't know how far Cooper Kupp would have had to fall for me, but the injuries are just starting to pile up. He's not in Sean McVay's system anymore. He is in Seattle, where I don't know what that team's going to be like with Sam Darnold at quarterback, with the defensive-minded head coach instead of an offensive-minded head coach like he had in Minnesota. I just personally would not have look Cooper Kupp's way. It would have taken a lot for me to get him. But hey, maybe it'll work out for you. Njoku. I like Njoku. You could have waited and gotten Njoku there than taking Hockenson early. So, your team should work out because I do like Njoku. I like Tank Bigsby. Word on the streets is that Travis Etienne might be falling out of favor a little bit in Jacksonville, and people like Tank Bigsby last year. So I definitely like Tank Bigsby this year because they could either be more of a committee or he could be getting more of the carry. So I do like that one. Jaden Higgins is good, but I don't really know a lot about him. Houston does not, their wide receiver room is basically, we have Nico Collins, and there are some other guys. And so Jaden Higgins is one of those other guys. Who else did they get? They got Christian Kirk too. So, but there's room for another receiver to emerge. I still think that they are going to, if Joe Mixon is healthy, they'll want to run the ball. If he's not healthy, they're going to want to not get CJ Stroud killed. But if they can protect him, I think that he's gotten a chance to deal similar to he did his first year. Even though he weirdly didn't throw that much, he threw very few interceptions. Anyway, Trevor Lawrence was a backup. I like it. This is it for Sunshine. If Sunshine does not show it this year, this boy is not a pro quarterback. He's not that good. He's a starter. He's fine. He's better than like the 28th quarterback in the league, definitely. But if he doesn't have it this year, yeah. But I do think that the talent is there. He's got the talent. He's got the offensive-minded head coach in Liam Cohen. Let's go, Sunshine. Lions D, they're getting a lot of talent back, even though they lost their D coordinator, so I like you getting them here. They could still be very good. Bass, Bills kicker, that's good. And then drafted a third tight end. Why? Most people, you drop these guys, whatever, it doesn't really matter. Anyway, that was your draft. And Ryan, I got to say, I liked a lot of stuff in your draft, like the top of your draft. There's a couple late picks that I question. I question the rationale on some things, but overall, I think your starting lineup rounded out really well, man. So, Ryan, started from the bottom. Now you're here. All right, now let's go to the man, Crooked Smite, Forrest Smitansky. We won't spend too much time on the end of his draft because we know it was auto-drafted. So, who am I critiquing? AI, do not care. We'll just start at the top of the draft. You got Bijan. Nice. Bijan is who I would want to take if I had the number one pick in any fantasy football draft. In the other league I'm in, it's half PPR. I had the number one pick, and I was like, damn, I got to go Chase. Just because of the upside of catching. Obviously, you can do what you want, but I would have shot myself in the face if I didn't take Jamar Chase and Bijan, if I took Bijan and Chase went off. Whereas taking Chase, I feel fine if I'm wrong on that. But what I'm saying is that Bijan fell to you. You didn't have the opportunity to take Saquon or Chase, but I would have loved to be stuck in that position. That's great. So great pick at Bijan. Brock Bowers, number 2. Again, I don't like spending the draft capital on tight end, but last year Brock Bowers was the tight end. So it's really about how you round your team out after that. What you decided to do is then go quarterback. That's tough because basically now you're trying to fill starting spots with a running back and 2 wide receivers and a flex position. And you multiple positions at a premium. But Brock Bowers, super talented. He's going to get a lot of opportunities because I don't even know who the hell they got on the outside in that Raiders offense. I think it's still Jacoby Myers. And then you got Lamar Jackson, which Lamar was crazy good last year. Now, I'm not saying Lamar might get hurt. I'm saying he's skinny. And that boy be getting hurt. Not a lot. He just twist his ankle or something. He just get a little thing. But Lamar is incredible, man. Their offense isn't crazy, but they still got Derrick Henry. They still got a good offensive line. They got Zay Flowers. They got very good players. No elite player outside of Henry and Lamar. Zay's good. Line's good. Not crazy. So they are relying on Lamar to do everything, and he's got the rushing upside. So that's a good pick. Devontae Adams, I just don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what's going on with Matt Stafford's back. Devontae Adams is not the best receiver in that on that team. It's Puka Nacua, so that's not bad. I just don't know what's going to happen. Your next receiver, DK Metcalf, he's the best receiver on his team, but I don't know if he's going to gel with his quarterback. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf are going to be like in sync. I don't know what their offense is going to look like. They still got Arthur Smith over there in Pittsburgh. Bob, tell me, why do you still have Arthur Smith? Obviously, he's probably fine for what Pittsburgh wants to do, which is win 9 games and then sneak into the playoffs so they can get blasted. But you did the right thing trying to get you some wide receivers here in these 3 picks. But just there were some better options for you. Let me see if I can snake this around. You took Devontae Adams. Jeff got Garrett Wilson because you did that. I personally think you could have taken Garrett Wilson, and I probably would have liked that a little bit better than Devontae Adams. There are some guys after that I would have taken instead of DK Metcalf just because I believe in their rapport with the quarterback more. And DK he has this tendency to be disappointing. But he is a freak. Anyway, then you got Travis Hunter. Again, like I said, we're not changing any rules for Travis Hunter, so his defensive stats mostly will not matter unless he gets a fumble recovery for a touchdown, because those are scored special, because obviously on offense you can recover a fumble for a touchdown, so everybody can get points for those. It's just 6 points. You don't get the yardage. Interceptions and punt returns, I think punt returns you get, interception returns you don't, and sacks and interceptions themselves you don't. So, but Travis Hunter, he's good. He's not as good as BTJ, or it's yet to be seen, but he is in an offense where they're going to want to throw it. So I do like Travis Hunter. So out of those 3, you got some decent quality. I just kind of wouldn't go with I wouldn't want them all on my team like that. I would have taken Travis, and then you'd have to twist my arm really to get the other 2, because I just don't feel good, or I don't feel like I know enough. Next up, you have Judkins, running back for the Browns. Apparently he's in a weird situation because of the domestic violence thing. He didn't sign his rookie contract, but the NFL also is we might independently discipline you. So one of my friends was saying there's a possibility he goes back to college. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen. I do expect him probably to get the majority of the carries for the Browns offense and whatever that looks like. So you got to start in running back. That's cool. Then you got Jaylen Warren, who he got signed to an extension by the Steelers. Again, I don't know what their running back room is going to look like. I think either if Jaylen Warren's role stays the same, that's still a good spot to get Jaylen Warren. If it's better, that's still good value. And then I think you drafted Najee Harris before. You drafted Najee Harris. That man has one eye. He has one eye, and he is hiding it from everybody. He did an interview today. Did not take off his sunglasses. He's like, I'm fine. I expect to play on Friday. It's you've got one eye. I believe you can play football. You've got one eye. So your running back situation, you got Bijan. Yeah. And then you got some dudes to try to rotate in, hopefully. I do not think Najee Harris is going to be the star. I do think it's going to be the rookie on Marion Hampton. So maybe he'll vulture. Maybe he's going to be a good vulture. Jim Harbaugh's going to run the piss out of the ball, though. So maybe he'll split them. Who knows? Then you took J.J. McCarthy. That's your backup quarterback, though. Okay, that's fine. He's playing with Justin Jefferson, so that's cool. Then you got the Eagles D. Again, that's a good pick. They've got a really tough schedule this year because they're playing a first place schedule. They play the NFC North. They play the AFC West. So that means they're going to see Vikings, Lions, Packers, Bears, Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers, and Raiders. But yeah, so that's 7 tough games out of division that they're going to have. You got some tough offenses. They play the damn Bills. So they just might have a tough go of it because of the matchups, I think. But talent-wise, they're going to be good. Like the pick. Josh Downs, good upside. Jake Ferguson as backup tight end. Again, Jake Ferguson there I like more than spending high draft capital. So, because there's going to be weeks where he just gets a touchdown and produces tight end number 5. So, but Downs is good. I just don't know what their offense is going to look like with Daniel Jones. It'll be more consistent, but not good. Then you've got Darnell Mooney. I feel like Mooney's your boy too, Forrest, because I did not rock with Mooney, and I just feel like I'd be looking down boards and seeing you having Mooney and Najee. Those speak to me. And we'll just skip the rest of these because I know you didn't do them, and I said we weren't going to talk too much about them. But anyway, Forrest, you've come a long way. I know you think like you haven't won. There's still Mark's never won, and Mark's awesome, but you've come a long way. I do not have a lot of bad stuff to say about this. As it stands right now, Jeff made the most questionable decisions because I expect Jeff to know more, and I just don't know what he was thinking with some of his picks. All right, now we got good old Robert Marino Marchi. Proof that if you don't like a nickname, it does not matter. We are going to call you it anyway. You know it, Bob. So anyway, Jahmyr Gibbs, he's awesome. Super dope. Great pick. That's probably who I'd take right there in the same situation. I'm taking Gibbs because I'm so mad I didn't take him last year. I think I had the chance to, and I can't remember who I took. Gibbs is so good, man. Love him. Then you took Josh Allen. Again, you pay the quarterback tax, but I think, again, guy with rushing upside, guy who is the offense, who does not have a true number one receiver. When he gets to the goal line, because you took James Cook as your running back, when the Bills get to the red zone, you're like, I'm getting points, baby. It's like James Cook is getting it or Josh Allen's getting it. So if their offense is really good, that is a great little stack you got cooking right there. Josh Allen, a lot of shit's given to Jalen Hurts for the tush-push touchdowns that he gets, which they count, and not everybody in the league can run it. Josh Allen be doing the same stuff. So that's like double-digit rushing touchdowns for him too. So that's a good pick. I like James Cook. I like you getting him where you got him in the third there. He easily could have gone in the second. He could have gone at the tail end of the first. He's not a flashy guy in my opinion, but he does everything well, and he keeps the Bills' offense on schedule. So they like to run things through him when they're not having Josh throw it. So that's awesome, man. Marvin Harrison Jr. is your wide receiver one. That's spooky to me. I didn't know Marvin Harrison Jr. He looks slow to me in the NFL. I feel like he didn't look that way in college to me. He looks slow to me in the NFL. And he's jacked now. He's like yoked up. I just don't know what this year is going to be for him. It could be awesome. The Cardinals could be a surprise team. They're kind of a sleeper team for some people. So that could be a great pick. It's a little bit spooky for me for wide receiver one. I would have liked it more if it was wide receiver two. It's fine where you got him. I get it, but it's a little spooky for me as your number one. Jameson Williams as your number two. Really like. Again, sometimes it's about where you get these guys and how you're expecting them to produce. Obviously, you're going to have two starters, so wide receiver one, wide receiver two is like whatever. But just when I think about it, it's like, oh, well, I'm supposed to have a more dependable guy. And Jameson Williams, he looks like he's got it now. He looks like a high-end number wide receiver two now when he plays with the Lions. I think that the Lions offense, it may not be what it was last year when Ben Johnson was just in his bag, but this team is just still super talented. The talent is still there. So I do like Jameson Williams. Then you got Jalen Waddle, another speedster. Again, Miami is, if Tua's healthy, their offense should work generally. But I think people have caught on to a lot of the stuff that Mike McDaniel wants to do with the motion and how they run their routes and how it's like just disrupt time and just like bully them, press them, knock them off. And if you throw the timing off, Tua's just back there and it's just like, is this the last concussion of his career? So Jalen Waddle, I think, is a good pick, but there's a reason that, him and, I drafted Tyreek in the fourth. There's a reason they both fell. It's just we don't know what's going on with that offense. We don't know how much we can rely on Tua. And when Tua's not in, their backup can never run the offense the way that he does. It's crazy. So that's good pick where you got him. I just don't know realistically how he's going to produce. Then you got Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley, believe it or not, that man 30. And we have been treating him like he is a fringe star receiver for 7-8 years. It has just never happened. It's fine to get him there because he's in Tennessee now with Cam Ward, so somebody's got to catch Cam's balls, and I think Cam Ward is going to be actually pretty good. So shout out Jonja. I think Cam Ward's actually going to be nice. Nobody just wants to talk about it because he's not Shador Sanders and this wasn't a good quarterback draft, but I think he is good. Um, so that's you got somebody's number one, so that's fine. So those I don't know who you're going to start there. Like I don't know who's going to be good for you. You're going to start Marvin and Jameson, but week to week it might be crazy for you. Travis Etienne, again, the only reason I don't like it is I do think Tank Bigsby is going to be the more predominant person in that. But if I'm wrong, free RB1. So that's nice. Dalton Kincaid, you got as your tight end. He never really caught on last year. I don't know what's going to happen. I think that might be one too many shares of the Bills offense. Like to go to Dalton Kincaid because they still got Knox and they got Khalil Shakir and they got Keon Coleman. And again, I don't know who's the most talented of any of those guys. So as much as like tight end's a crapshoot, I will say I don't like it, but whatever. Jared Goff is your backup quarterback. Again, he could be a starter. You could have waited for a starter there, and I would have been like, hell yeah, dog. Braylon Allen, I like him more as a handcuff to Breece Hall, but he might get some opportunities. The Jets are not throwing the ball that much with Justin Fields. Boy, you did it. You did it. Kyle Pitts season. You did it. Kyle Pitts. This is his year, Bob. This is his year. It's his year, Bob. It's not, but incredible value. Kyle Pitts was never going undrafted, so that's cool. Ravens defense, dude, I wanted them. Their secondary is crazy. So good. Kyle Hamilton, Marlon Humphrey, the second-year player, Nate Wiggins. They went and got Jair Alexander, Jair Alexander is actually an insane person, but I think he can still play cornerback. So their secondary is going to be crazy. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw them like break the interception record or something just bananas if they all stay healthy and play well together. God, I wanted them, man. That sucks. Isaac Rudo's fine. You get Chris Boswell every year, and he's good. We just let you get him. It's very funny. Chris Boswell, your boy, and then Calvin Austin. Nice little Pittsburgh pick for you. So, like I said, Bob, again, me being critical about these depth pieces is whatever. Everybody knows that we're, just throwing darts at a board at that point. But I think you started off really strong with your first three picks, and you gave yourself enough opportunities with your remaining picks. So it could be the year of the Marchi. We could see. All right, let's talk Mama Jonja. Hope you're feeling well. Hope baby. I don't know if you guys know if it's a girl or a boy. I hope baby is doing okay, and obviously little baby Frankie as well as big baby Frankie. Anyway, you drafted Derrick Henry, a little homecoming of sorts. He's different. Derrick Henry's different. Who cares? He's 30. He's different. Don't matter. He's going to be good, I think. I don't think he's going to get hurt. I don't think there's any tread on his tires. He might play till he's like 35, like Frank Gore, and then, forget everything before his 10th birthday. Ladd McConkey. I love Ladd McConkey in half PPR and PPR formats because he is the most reliable pass catcher in that Chargers offense. I like him in a standard scoring format. So I like the pick. I could love it, but I like it. But he's good, though. He's legitimately good. People see that white boy. It's like, let that white boy play wide receiver. He nice. He'll mix you up. He nice. James Conner. James Conner is really good. Arizona has a very diverse rushing attack. He did me so dirty one game. He had a game against Seattle where he had like 10 rushes for 3 yards. I don't know what was going on in that game, but he is in general an underrated running back because he's not flashy, but he is good. So I like him right there. You got two good running backs. You got a good wide receiver. Then you got Kyler Murray. Here's the problem with Kyler Murray. First 8 games of the season, he might be cooking. Last 9 of the games of the season, shit burnt up. Kyler Murray should be a much more reliable fantasy player, but it's just like a tale of two halves for whatever reason. Um, I didn't look at his stats before this. I tried to look at some of you guys so I'd have a little bit more information to give you, but I didn't look at his. I apologize. Damn, I've been going for 34 minutes. Fuck. I gotta do some things too. All right, George Pickens. I don't know. He's a head case. I think Dallas is going to throw the ball a lot because I think they're going to be bad. And if Dak's healthy, they throw the ball a lot. And Dak is ballsy. Obviously, I don't like him because he's a Cowboy. But as far as a player goes, if you watch Cowboys games, Dak will throw that ball across the middle. He will try to hit a whole shot on anybody. And he hits a lot of them. He's not afraid to uh, throwing jump balls for one-on-one. So I think that Pickens is going to get to do what he is generally good at. But he's a head case, and Dallas, they traded their best player, and I don't know what they're doing. But I think that is a good pick. Would I taken anybody else? Yeah, there's some other guys I may would have rolled the dice on. You get to this point, and I'm just, like I said, there's so many criticisms I can have about players, like who I like and who I dislike is about one small thing. DeAndre Swift. I like DeAndre Swift right here. DeAndre Swift started off so bad last year, but he kind of turned it around. I think Ben Johnson's going to have a better idea how to use DeAndre Swift because he was in Detroit when they had him. The thing is, kind of doesn't like DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift kind of doesn't run the offense, I think, the way Ben Johnson wants him to. But I think DeAndre Swift's going to get better opportunities. So I really like you getting DeAndre Swift right there. I think that is really good. He could have a much more balanced season, which means he could have a much better season. Close to what he did 2 years ago with the Eagles then in that respect. Rushing for over 1,000 yards, getting some receiving opportunities, getting some big play chances, and obviously getting more touchdowns. Not being like what he was at the beginning. And the Bears improved their offensive line too. So I like that. Jerry Jeudy, it's just about who's throwing him the ball. Is it going to be old man Flacco at the beginning? Sure. But then who after that? How are they going to gel with them? He proved last year that his talent came to fruition more last year, much to Steve Smith Sr.'s chagrin. Who said he's trash. Tyler Warren. I like Tyler Warren. Again, does Daniel Jones like Tyler Warren? God, their offense, I don't know what the hell it's going to be other than running Jonathan Taylor. Damn. But I do like Tyler Warren. You got J.K. Dobbins. For 2 or 3 games, it might once again be J.K. Dobbins' season in Denver, and then R.J. Harvey will take over when J.K. Dobbins once again gets injured. Rashid Shaheed, boy, I do not like taking any New Orleans pass catchers. That is an awful quarterback situation. They got Spencer Rattler, Tyler Shook, and I don't know, a jar of peanut butter. They got nothing going on at quarterback, boy. Now, they're NFL players. The ball's going to find its way to the end zone a few times throughout the season. But, boy, I was not taking any of them. So I would not take Rashid Shaheed. It's whatever, but I would have not taken him. Tyler Algier. Now that Arthur Smith's gone, he's not going to be, for the last 2 years, he's not going to be getting 60% of the carries. I like him more as a handcuff for Bijan because he is good, but it's fine where you got him. He'll still get chances because he is a good enough player. Again, Cam Ward. I think Cam's going to be good. So I like you getting Cam. There's your backup. He might have an opportunity to play well when Kyler's dying and he's kind of hitting his stride as a rookie. Vikings defense, they were kind of running crazy blitz stuff last year, so I don't know if they're going to be as good this year, but they still got Brian Flores, and so he's a good defensive coordinator. He runs crazy blitz stuff because he's good at it, so that's cool. Then you got backup tight end Okonkwo for Tennessee, and Tyler Loop, and Blake Corum. Those are all fine last 3 picks. Try not to short you guys on my stuff, but I realize I'm at 40 minutes right now. Many apologies for that. Josh, you got CeeDee Lamb. Again, Cowboys are going to be throwing it a lot. So I would say that you're in that spot in the middle of the rounds there where it's kind of like, I'm not getting really the best running back. So should I go wide receiver or should I reach for one of the, I won't say lower tier running backs because I do like the running backs who went afterwards, but should I take one of these running backs who I don't feel as good about? So CeeDee Lamb is good. Chase Brown. One, I'm kind of surprised the ADP has him this high, but I do like him. I like everything I've seen from Chase Brown in that offense. I think he makes the most of his opportunities. He makes the most of what that line opens up. I don't know if he's in line for a season that he's going to produce at that level, but I agree taking him there because he was going to be gone in the third without a doubt. So I do like that pick. Jackson Smith and Jigba. Again, I just have a lot of questions about what's about to happen offensively in Seattle. I don't know what it's going to look like. I don't know if Jackson Smith and Jigba can really be a number one wide receiver. Obviously, he was a talented wide receiver at Ohio State, and that's wide receiver U. But I don't know what's going to happen. Jalen Hurts, tush push, baby. We pushing ass. We pushing ass, baby. Yeah, you getting you 12 easy rushing touchdowns from your quarterback just off this, baby. Yeah, all the way to a Super Bowl, baby. And you got him there in the fourth. So he might actually have a better year passing the ball this year. But you're getting some pushes. Yeah, that's why you draft him. You get him one of those easy little pushes. Tony Pollard. I don't know why he went that late. Tony Pollard, I think I don't know what Tennessee's offensive line is like. I'm thinking about just historically. Tony Pollard's kind of nice. And I think he might have been a little banged up last year. I know he was hurt that coming off an injury a couple years ago with Dallas. I like Tony Pollard. I think that Tony Pollard could be good. So getting a running back of his caliber that late is nice. Everybody I criticize for their running backs. I like Tony Pollard there more than I like Achane in the second. I like him there. A little bit more than I like Montgomery in the fourth. Yeah, man, I like that pick. Evan Ingram, his potential will never be realized, but now he gets to do it in Denver with Bo Nix. Again, would not have taken Evan Ingram that high. So, whatever, we'll see what happens. Deebo Samuel. I like him there. I think that he is going to have an opportunity to do a lot of screens, end arounds. A lot of the stuff he was doing already in San Francisco, also now he gets to do in the Commanders' offense. And I think he's still going to be successful. So I like that a lot. Emeka Egbuka next? Josh, I know you don't know who that is. You don't know nothing about Egbuka? I really like Egbuka. Egbuka and Golden were the two rookie wide. Oh no, and Ted. I liked all three of the rookie wide receivers. Travis Hunter, I'm unsure about just because I don't know. He might end up playing defense more than offense, or I don't know what's going to go on with that. I like all three of those young rookie wide receivers, and Egbuka's in a great situation. Chris Godwin's going to be hurt at the beginning of the year. They're going to be throwing the ball with Baker, and Mike Evans might get old fast. Who knows? So I really like that pick. Then you got Javonte Williams. Ugh, do not like that. I don't think I've disliked one this bad in a while. Javonte Williams was not good in Denver last year, and it was his fault. They were giving him opportunities, and their line is good in Denver, and he was just stinky. And Dallas's line is not as good as it used to be, and their running back room is dog water. They got him. They got the young boy, I think it's Jaden Blue, and they got Miles Sanders, Miles Sanders had opportunities in Carolina. He was stinking, and then Chuba Hubbard's like, I can run with this. So do not like Javonte Williams. I'll be shocked if he stays the starter. He might be in the rotation. I'll be shocked if he stays the starter. Brock Purdy, that's your backup. Brock Purdy, I like his upside there. Again, as a backup. As a starter, it gets kind of spooky because I just don't know what's going to happen. But I like him there. Tyler Kraft, we'll see what happens with him. There's a lot of mouths to feed in Green Bay of a lot of mediocre dudes, or like mediocre to good dudes, not great dudes. So I don't know if their tight end situation is going to be something worth having. I don't feel great about the Steelers' defense this year. Like, they're going to be good because Mike Tomlin, J.J. Watt, they inexplicably traded for Jalen Ramsey, which Bob will have to have you explain that to me. But I just don't feel as good about them. Jerome Ford is still playing for Cleveland. Interesting. He'll get some run. Then you got Dicker the kicker. Nice. Rashad Bateman, he will score 7 touchdowns, and he will be on your bench every single time. But I like him there because he's technically the second wide receiver in Baltimore, and he's supposed to be the more talented one, I think, than Zay, based on draft positioning or whatever, or projections. But Zay's obviously better. And then Justice Hill, who will come in if Derrick Henry if somebody needs to catch a ball, it will be Justice Hill. Usually not Derrick Henry. They also got the one speed guy, Keaton, back, I think. So, Josh, overall, I know you did this with spotty Wi-Fi as you were driving up to Michigan for a wedding, but I like enough of your draft. Only one pick that I really hated. Obviously, really liked Ibuka and solid value. Again, nobody's draft is really jumping out to me right now. I think I liked Ryan's the most and disliked Jeff's the least, but I don't even think Jeff had the worst draft. Or I don't know. Maybe he did, but it's just vibes. Again, this is kind of an odd year, guys. I don't hate anything too much. All right, anyway, let's go to old Nicholas. Justin Jefferson. He's a dog. He's quarterback proof. Who cares if J.J. McCarthy stinks? He's Justin Jefferson. So, good pick. You're in the same position as Josh. Jonathan Taylor. I really like Jonathan Taylor there because I'm not sure about what the passing offense is going to look like, but I think Jonathan Taylor's still really strong running back. And Daniel Jones has some wheels on him low key. So they'll still run some option stuff to open it up for Jonathan Taylor. Daniel Jones isn't shifty, but he's got like that straight line speed. So I do like Jonathan Taylor. Jaden Daniels. I kind of don't like him that high in the third, but I get why you did it. He's got rushing upside. The offense mostly goes through him and what he does. Again, they're going to have a running back, a running game. But I think a lot of red zone is like, Jaden, make something happen. It's just like, make something happen. Just a lot of these mobile quarterbacks is make something happen. It's whatever you do. We're not just going to let our running back run it on key fourth and third downs and short. So I do like Jaden because he's got that rushing upside. I just don't. His rookie year might have been a little bit of a mirage, but I do like his weapons, and I think that he is good. So just a little high for me. I don't know. It's still a good pick. I'm just rambling. Mike Evans, the old man. Sign him up for 1,000 yards. You got it, Nick. You got your 1,000. You got it. Then you got Travion Henderson. I am surprised if his ADP was this high and that he went this early, because I don't think he's officially the starter, but he is super talented, and I think everybody believes he's eventually going to be the starter, even if he doesn't start the starter. So that could be awesome. Uncertainty, a little spooky as your second running back, but I like the upside of it. It's a little spooky. Courtland Sutton, he's technically the number one receiver in Denver. I just don't feel this way about Denver's offense to be seeing Bo Nix and Courtland Sutton going this high. So, whatever. But again, I think I get the logic of that pick. Jordan Addison, Ali, my man, was he the one who was drunk driving and then pled it out to a wet reckless or something? He's good. When he comes back, he's going to be nice as a good compliment to Justin Jefferson. I don't know if their offense will be so good that you'll ever be able to play both of them. That'll be kind of crazy. I don't know if you were thinking about that, but that is something. Caleb Johnson, maybe he's the starter in Pittsburgh. Maybe Jalen Warren is because they extended him 2 years. I don't know. Got to ask our boy Bob. Jonnu Smith. You took weird shares of multiple offense. He's give me both receivers from Minnesota. Give me the running back and tight end for the Steelers. I try to avoid that. I just don't like going all in on one offense unless I really think they're about to light it up like that. And I assure you, Steelers are not about to light it up like that. But Donald Smith was good last year, but it was in a totally different offensive scheme. I have no idea what he's going to be like with Aaron Rodgers. So you waited, but I probably would have waited more. Khalil Shakir, he'll be a nice little player for Buffalo, so that's cool. Rachaad White, he's still going to get opportunities in Tampa. He lost the starting job to Bucky Irvin, but he's still going to get a chance, so that's fine. Broncos D, they could be nasty. They got so many sacks last year, and defenses vary so much. You have no idea how good they could be, but I definitely think that from a talent perspective, that's a good pick. Now, again, they also are going to have to play some tough teams. They got in their own division, Chiefs, Chargers, Raiders. And then they play the NFC East, so they're going to have to play the Eagles. They're going to have to play the Commanders. They're going to have to play the Cowboys, Giants. Um, so I like them though. There's a reason they were rated that high, and they do have like a lot of really good, obviously defensive player of the year in Pastor Tan the second, and good players. They got Greenlaw, they got Hafunga, so they're about to be nice. Obviously, you were the first person to get a kicker, and you got Brandon Aubrey who can boot that thing. He was a robot for so much of last year, and then all of a sudden he started missing a few kicks. I was like, that's crazy, but he's awesome. Michael Pittman. I don't know why people are low on Michael Pittman. I feel like Michael Pittman is the number one receiver in Indy. Um, I feel better about him than that spot, so I like that pick. Zach Ertz, love that pick because Jaden threw to Zach Ertz all the time last year. Really like it. And concussion protocol is your backup quarterback. So Nick, you again, I wasn't there, and I'm not saying you couldn't have done this sober, but if you were drinking, I understand some of these picks more. I got some questions about a few of them, but by no means is this a bad team. There are just some things that I would have thought more about. Let's go on to two ball Paul. Paul Madden, Christian McCaffrey in the first round. You ain't scared of no injury. I'm a little scared, but Christian McCaffrey's super talented. I don't think that he's lost a step athletically. It's just about his body holding up. And honestly, they need him now more than ever because their wide receiver situation is piss poor. So I do like that pick. I was kind of hoping he'd slide on down to your boy, but it's a good pick by you because obviously I was hoping to have him slide for a reason. Drake London, super talented. It's just about Michael Penix being accurate. It'll be interesting to see how he produces this year. Just Atlanta's offense as a whole because they have talented running back. They have a good offensive line. They have talented wide receiver. They've got whatever Kyle Pitts is. And they drafted this kid in the first round to be their quarterback. So are they going to produce the way that you would expect all that talent to produce? Or is it going to be like, damn, we missed again? Trey McBride, again, wouldn't have taken a tight end that high, but Trey McBride is super talented. So I liked him last year when Jonja got him. But after what last year was with tight ends, I just don't feel good about taking them high anymore. I would rather just roll the dice on somebody low and either they're good or they're bad, but I didn't waste draft capital on them. Kenneth Walker. Again, I have just questions about Seattle's offense as a whole. He's good. It's good to get him there. I personally I would have wanted to get somebody more certain as my running back. You'll see, I took high floor guys for the most part on my team. So you'll see that I was drafting scared. And to be honest, drafting scared is how you don't come in first. You're trying to play first, so you need to get guys with high ceilings. I don't think Kenneth Walker is necessarily a player with that, but when you guys are taking chances and I'm like, that's not how you win anyway. Who cares? Roll the dice. It ain't about coming in second. It's about coming in first, baby. There's a little bit about coming in second because you get a little bit of money. You get to talk a little bit of shit. Then you got DJ Moore. I personally was out on DJ Moore after last year because whatever was going on with him was weird. He clearly was giving up a little bit in the Chicago offense. I think he's still talented. I think Ben Johnson's going to use him properly. I just felt differently about him. Sorry, I just got to make sure my youngest daughter didn't wake up screaming for some reason. I'm down here recording a damn video. Then you got Aaron Jones. I don't know why Aaron Jones is that low. I really like Aaron Jones right there. Aaron Jones is solid, man. I don't think he's too old. He was good last year for Minnesota. I don't know why his ADP is that low. So I like that. Your running back situation is nice, Paul. Rashee Rice, suspended 6 games. So that's cool. Coming off an injury. So that's cool. But I think when he comes back, I do think he's going to get into that offense seamlessly. I don't think his injury is so bad that it's going to hamper him a ton. A lot of what the Chiefs had him do when he was there initially was work a lot of underneath stuff and then basically, get extra yardage beyond that. So work that intermediate area. He'll be able to do that. And they got Worthy to take the top off. So I do like Rashee Rice. Jordan Love is your quarterback. They pulled the reins back on him a lot last year and basically said, we are not letting you throw that much. We're going to let Josh Jacobs run. People give Jalen Hurts a lot of crap about him not throwing the ball a lot, but they did the same thing with Jordan Love. They did the same thing with Josh Allen. They did the same thing not really less, but to some degree, Lamar Jackson didn't throw a ton. There are teams that are just more run heavy than they pass. And Jordan Love was in that camp. They dialed back his pass attempts a lot. I don't know what's going to happen this year if they're going to let him sling it around like they did in his first year as a starter. And the reason I'm just saying that is going to dictate what it's going to be like to have him as your starting quarterback. I like waiting. He's the most talented guy that you could have got right there. I don't know what's going to happen though. And I say this as somebody who had Jordan Love in 2 leagues last year. So, whatever. But this could be the bounce back year. Stephon Diggs. I like getting Diggs there. I think he's going to be reliable in New England. He may not be what he was, but he's still a savvy route runner. He's still got good hands. He's still doing, cocaine on a boat with models. So I think he's still going to be good. Chris Godwin, hurt, but you didn't take two. You took a player who's suspended and a player who's hurt. Paul, what are you doing? The thing is, you're just clogging up your own bench of guys who you either, there was no point in drafting them or you cannot move them. So you got two guys in Godwin and Rice. Although Godwin, they didn't put him on PUP, so he might play sooner than we think. Drake May, I don't know what their offense is going to be like. The Patriots is like one of those sneaky teams because everybody's like, oh, the defense is going to be really strong this year. And the offense will be out there. And people like what they've seen from Drake working with a bad offense. I don't know who the hell this Tootin' dude is. He's got a shot in Jacksonville, though, because I don't think Etienne's going to be the workhorse. Did you try fucking Cedric Tillman? Huh. I did not know. Cedric, I don't think about Cedric Tillman. I was just like, that's Cedric Tillman? That's a person who plays football. Tajay Spears. No, I think Tony Pollard. I like Tajay Spears and his talent, but I think they're going to give Tony Pollard more of a workload. But I do like Tajay Spears. Bucks D like that, and Evan McPherson is your kicker. Other than you taking two guys who aren't going to really be playing who aren't going to be playing this first week at least, your team's fine. I think you filled out enough of the holes. Obviously, I think you probably feel equally spooky about your quarterback situation, but it is what it is. So let's go on to Mr. Chesnick. Scotty Balls, Ashton Genty. He was supposed to fall to me, buddy, but you took him. And now I hope the Las Vegas Raiders offensive line is dookie, and he can't run. But he's super talented. He's gonna be fine. I don't know. I think he'll produce it where you drafted him, but their offensive line is bad, and they're gonna be behind. And Gino's gonna be throwing it, and he's gonna throw interceptions again because he did it in Seattle. I kind of don't. There's only so many good offensive linemen, so it is what it is. But Genty's super talented. I like it. Malik Neighbors, love. Quarterback proof. If you can do what he did last year with Daniel Jones before Malik Neighbors got hurt, if you can do that, you're about to cook with Russell Wilson and Jackson Dart and famous Jameis. Jameis don't give a F. He'll throw it up. He's like, you want me to throw it to you in double coverage? Oh, yeah, because that's how we're going to get a W. I love Jameis. Jameis needs to be a starter all year somewhere because I just need to see more Jameis interviews. Also, I think he's going to be the third string quarterback, which is an emergency quarterback. So I don't even know if he's going to be. He'll probably be dressed, but I need to see more Jameis. Neighbors, good pick. Breece Hall. I want to believe in Breece Hall so bad. The Jets at least aren't going to be throwing too much. They are going to be running, so I do like the pick. Joe Burr, obviously, you know what it is. That's a great pick. I'm surprised he fell that far. He doesn't have the rushing upside, I guess is what it is. So that's why he fell fourth. But I think that I would have taken Joe Burrow, honestly, before I think I would have taken Jaden, or I think I would have taken him before Lamar, because Lamar had that 1 year where their offense was just really reserved. Obviously, Lamar's better now. He was slinging that thing last year. I don't know. I do feel really good about Joe Burrow throwing that ball because I feel bad about the Bengals defense. Zay Flowers. That's good. He's the best wide receiver in that offense by far. Mark Andrews. Again, I I am always paranoid about taking multiple shares of an offense, but like I said to Ryan, you did it on the Eagles offense with Saquon Barkley and A.J. Brown last year, and you won the championship, and the Eagles don't even pass a lot. So that should have been super spooky. Those are the two best receivers on Baltimore. And so if you believe in Baltimore's offense and they're throwing the ball, that's going to work out for you. Tyrone Tracy, I wanted him because that is just a solid mid-round running back to get who's a starter who, you're not going to be seeing a ton of Giants games. It's going to be like, oh, Tyrone Tracy, 88 yards and a touchdown. Damn. I love Tyrone Tracy right there. Chris Olave, do not like. Awful quarterback situation in New Orleans. And Chris Olave is it's like concussion worries number 1, Tua. Number 2, Chris Olave. Chris Olave is on the list. My boy, he's about to retire early. Jaden Blue, again, I just don't think Dallas's run game is going to be good. If you got to get a Dallas running back, I'd rather have him than Miles Sanders or not Rico Dowdle or Javonte Williams. So, fine. Then you got Jayden Reed just hitting up the Jays from Green Bay. I would say that that's the best receiver to have if you don't have Golden, so that's good. Trey Benson, Arizona backup, so fine. Luther Burton is the wide receiver I actually like the most in Chicago. I like him more than Rome. I like him more than DJ Moore. Maybe it's because of value, but here's what I'll say. It's weird that Chicago already had DJ Moore, who isn't old, Roma Dunze, who is a second-year player, and Cole Kmet, who they just signed to a contract. And they went out and said, what we're going to do in the first round? Draft Colston Loveland, a tight end. And then what we're going to do? We're going to draft Luther Burton. They must not like multiple starters that they currently have if they are going to use their draft capital on offensive talent like that. So I like Luther Burton because I think that they don't like something they see from one of those other receivers. And Colston Loveland and Cole Kmet, they can probably coexist more in 2 tight end sets, but I think that they know that they're getting higher receiving upside with Loveland. Then you got Caleb Williams also. So you did a couple times doubling up on teams. Again, it's not something you really need to pay a lot of attention to. It makes me paranoid, which, again, I haven't been a really good team in this league in a while, so my paranoia is not necessarily gospel. Christian Kirk, who I like, 49. I think you already dropped the 49ers defense. The 49ers defense was not good last year, and I have no confidence that they will be this year. They got Nick Bosa and they got Fred Warner. I don't think that they were worth drafting. And then you took kicker Caleb McLaughlin for the Bucs. Good offense. All right, 3 more teams. I've been doing this for 1 hour. I apologize this is taking so long. I know a lot about football, and I've been with my family all day. All right. Andy Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Talk about a player that is so good that I never want to draft. That's a good pick, and I just don't ever want to do it. He's good. He's going to be good again, and I just never want to take him. Puka Nacua, on the other hand, love saying that name. Puka Nacua. Very good. The issue is Matt Stafford's back. Is that going to mess anything up? I think that even if Jimmy Garoppolo has to come in, Puka Nacua, he's not going to suffer too much because while he can do great downfield stuff, a lot of what McVay does to get him the ball is manufactured touches on things like jet sweeps, end arounds, little bubble screens that get him, doing running back stuff. So that's good. And then you got Terry McLaurin. This is spooky to me. I thought this was spooky. You went 0 RB. That's spooky to me in our league. And your receivers are all good, but I don't like them like that. Terry McLaurin, I think he's going to be good. He is hitting 30 this year, I think, but I would not have wanted to go St. Brown, Puka, and Terry because then at running back, you get Alvin Kamara. I'm sorry, Andy, I did do this to you. I was trying to look up stats. Alvin Kamara, it was a mirage what he did last year. The Saints basically had that hot start. Alvin Kamara was cooking, and then they lost their quarterback. They had one of the guys they have now, Spencer Rattler, and Alvin Kamara was not good. Alvin Kamara's beginning of the year and second half of the year, it is 2 different stories. You look at this man, you're just like, oh, wow, he had a touchdown against Carolina. He had 3 touchdowns against Dallas. Oh, man, he had a touchdown against Atlanta. He scored 0 0 rushing touchdowns after week 8. 0. So, again, he's 30. He's a running back. I didn't like the way he ended the year. I would not want to be betting my money on Alvin Kamara. Couldn't be me. I like Pacheco more, but I don't love Pacheco. And the reason I don't is that the Chiefs do not effectively run the ball in the red zone. You are going to see them throw little screen passes and little shovel passes. Like, that is how they're going to get their red zone touchdowns. And so Pacheco, he is going to get used, he's going to get chances, but he is not going to get those red zone opportunities. And so we're touchdown dependent without having some other system. Like, again, we're all against PPR because PPR is BS. If somebody would have suggested something like, I don't know, points for first down, like if you had like a really smart commissioner who suggested that, because that would allow us to have more points in a way that actually affects the game of football, that would have been something to have. And I'd like, some of these players would have more value. But I just really do not like what you're rolling out there at running back, man. Baker Mayfield, love Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield is probably my favorite quarterback pick because of where you got him, Andy. He is just as much upside. He was QB number 4. Sorry, I don't know why, but I clicked through your team to look at all this stuff. He was quarterback number 4 last year. He was quarterback number 10 the year before that. He's got tons of weapons. He's got Bucky Irvin, the running back that I took. He's got Mike Evans. He's got Ibuka. He's got Godwin when he comes back. The only thing he lost was his offensive coordinator, Liam Cohen, but I think he's still going to be good. I think their offense is still going to be good. Travis Kelce. In years past, this would have been a crazy steal to get Travis Kelce, but obviously you're banking on a bounce-back year for him. I don't think he was hurt last year, but I don't think he's lost anything athletically, and I think he's more ready for this year. I don't know what that means. I don't know what I'm saying right now. I think that he's going to play better. That's what I'll say. I don't know what I'm saying. But so I like Baker and I like Kelce there. Jacoby Myers, I don't really love. I don't know when he should have gone. He's technically the starting wide receiver for the Raiders, but I just don't know what their offense is going to be. Genty's just too talented. I would have taken him. And Brock Bowers is too talented. I would have taken him. But everybody else I would have stayed away from. It's not like I got Geno Smith as my backup quarterback. I do. Then we got Austin Eckler. I don't think Austin Eckler is going to be the starter there. I took the sleeper of all sleepers this year in Bill. And so Austin Eckler is actually probably fine, though. They're still going to use him in passing situations. That's kind of where he's used best. But, again, you don't really have a true workhorse running back. Nick Chubb's probably your best bet. If Joe Mixon's not healthy, Nick Chubb might get a chance in Houston to start a little bit for them. But then after that, you got Dylan Sampson for Cleveland. I'll defer to you if you know something about Cleveland's running back situation that I don't. C.J. Stroud is your backup I like. Hunter Henry as a tight end is backup tight end is fine. I do like Seahawks D. Seahawks D could be nice. And, really like Adam Thielen as your Mr. Irrelevant pick because he's going back to Minnesota. Obviously, Addison's not going to be there. Him and Justin Jefferson, he could have a nice little run for you in the beginning of the year if some of your other guys aren't working out. So I do like that. Overall, Andy, I did not like some of the things you did. I had a lot of issues, I think, with Jeff's team, and then your team also got issues. You went 0 RB. I think it was a bad idea. Then we got, again, one of the few heroes of our league, Mark Ragoose. BTJ, he is nice, man. Great pick. Like I said, Jacksonville's offense could be much better this year, so I really like it. And again, BTJ did good last year when he was playing with Mac Jones, so I like it. Josh Jacobs, again, I think that if Green Bay does what they did last year and they run a lot, Josh Jacobs is going to be really good. He's kind of that high-end running back that nobody really wants to talk about. George Kittle. I like George Kittle because he is the most reliable pass catcher there right now. He's the only proven commodity. I know they need him to block a lot, and he's a great blocker, but he's the best tight end in the league right now. Combination of blocking and receiving, and with Kelce falling off, he's easily the best, and I think that he's going to produce. Amarion Hampton, I was this close to trying to get Amarion Hampton. I don't know why the Rashawn Slater injury scared me so much because Jim Harbaugh's still going to run the ball. And I think Amarian Hampton's going to be the one that they choose to run it with the Chargers. So I like that. I like RJ Harvey because, again, Denver has a good offensive line. They drafted a young running back. It's not even about the talent for Harvey. Hampton, I think, actually is super talented. Some of the draft stuff I saw about him is like, no, Amarian Hampton would go as the first running back in a lot of drafts if Genty didn't have the year he did. And then one of the guys I was like, I think that they're close. But Harvey, I don't know anything about him, but he's young and he's going to play behind a good offensive line. That's good enough for me at this point in the draft. Then you get Devontae Smith. Again, Eagles don't throw the ball a lot, but he is number 2 on the list of the 3 targets that they do throw to, so I like getting him there. I'm out on Rome. Again, I was in hard on the Bears offense last year, and so maybe I just feel scorned by them, but I would not have taken Rome. That doesn't mean this is a bad pick for you. You're taking a player who was drafted in the first round last year, second best wide receiver. Oh, no, third best wide receiver because it was Marv, Malik, Rome. Third wide receiver that was taken last year, and an offense with a great offensive mind coming in with a talented quarterback. So that is a smart pick. I personally don't like it. Jordan Madison in Minnesota, he'll get some chances. I don't know if it's going to be like what he was getting when he was with the 49ers, but he'll get some opportunities. Again, I still like Aaron Jones a lot, so that's why I just don't feel that strong about Madison. Keon Coleman, I didn't see anything from him last year from a talent perspective, but he is technically the number 1 receiver in Buffalo. Ray Davis, again, he's going to get some chances as a backup running back, but I'm really big on James Cook. Dak Prescott that late. See, you did it, Mark. You did it. You waited really late, and you got a really high upside quarterback. Dak is the perfect quarterback to wait on because he will be throwing that thing. You did it, man. Marvin Mims, do not care. Don't believe in Bowman Nix. Do not believe in Marvin Mims. Isaiah Likely, I think he might be hurt initially, but when he comes back, he's the best receiving tight end that they've got for the Ravens. Actually better than, holy shit. I just saw the score of that North Carolina game. They gave up 48 points. Boy, Bill got that young girl bouncing on it, and he forgot how to coach. Commanders deep. I don't know why you got the Commanders defense. They are not going to. I do not expect them to be good. I don't know why they were even on the board. Then Bates and Keenan Allen. Yeah, you got somebody else doing a little homecoming. Keenan Allen to the Chargers. That's cool. So, Mark, I like a lot of the picks you made. I think you were pretty smart with your draft. I like the upside. Well, honestly, these aren't like even any downside players. There's just like the few guys who I'm really not feeling with Ray Davis and Keon Coleman. But whatever, dog. All right. Now, finally, the commish. After I've rambled on for an hour and 12 minutes. Good God. I need to know less about football. All right, took Nico Collins. Nico Collins, I had him last year, and if it wasn't for him getting hurt, he easily could have finished as wide receiver 2 last year. He wasn't going to finish higher than Chase, but he could have finished as the second best wide receiver. He was number 1 for a bit before Chase really popped off. So I love Nico Collins. I think they don't have a ton of options right now in Houston that are proven outside of him. He's big, he's fast, he's a good route runner, and he can catch the damn ball. So my running back situation back to back. So I took Bucky Irving and Chuba Hubbard. Those are not household names. Those are not dudes that people are going to be talking about like mid-season as Offensive Player of the Year or something. But those are guys who produce. They both finished top 15 standard scoring running backs. Again, I only had time to click on a few things. And I did this after the draft. Before the draft, I was just like, they were just so good. Bucky didn't get a lot of opportunities. He was not getting a shot to carry the ball at first. Rashad White was. And then he just took off at the end of the year, finished 15. Chuba Hubbard, he was getting the opportunities, but their offense was terrible, and he was keeping them alive a lot. So both of those guys, I think with full years of those teams really knowing who they are and what they can do, those are going to be solid picks. And I just wanted to make sure that I had solid starters at running back who didn't fall off, which again, I think shoot for the moon. That's the right thing to do. So that's kind of the difference between like Bucky Irving and Devon Achane. Achane is shoot for the moon. He could go crazy. He could rush for 1,800 yards because he's got crazy speed in this offensive scheme where it's like Bucky Irving will get 1,100 yards. and his ceiling's like 1,300. Those are the dichotomy at the ends of the draft between what I like and what I don't like. Shoot for the moon. That's the best thing. But I was trying to go high floor. And then I took Tyreek Hill, and everything I said about Miami's offense applies to my pick of Tyreek Hill. I don't love this, but he is still too good to I couldn't let him slip past me at the 4th round, man. I'm like, yeah, give me Tyreek Hill in the 4th round, man. Yeah, give me Tyreek Hill in the 4th round. I didn't like it either. Then this was easy to me. Patrick Mahomes, Xavier Worthy. I think Mahomes is going to have a bounce back year. The big thing for him is their left tackle situation looks solidified. The league messed around and let the Chiefs get the best left tackle in the draft because they had injury concerns about Josh Simmons. And the reports out of camp are like, that boy good. And if Mahomes' blind side is protected and he can maneuver the pocket better, he's going to be throwing the ball downfield to Xavier Worthy. So that's why I took him. I don't normally like to stack like that, but I do think Worthy could have a crazy breakout year. I'm not saying he's going to be Tyreek Hill. I am saying that he is going to be a deep threat, and Mahomes is going to have time to throw deep. And he really started to come on last year as a better player. The player that they thought they would get developing out of guys like Sky Moore, who I think they either traded or let go. Then I drafted Brian Robinson Jr. This is more taking the McCaffrey handcuff. He's going to get opportunities, I think, because I don't think they're going to run McCaffrey into the ground, but he's not really going to be a viable backup for me, so I kind of should have waited for that, but I just sort of wanted to jump on him before somebody else got him, because I do see a world where McCaffrey gets hurt, and it's like, oh, yes, I have the other running back for the 49ers. Matthew Golden, I talked about the rookie wide receivers who I like. I like Golden. Early reports out of camp, which again don't really mean that much, is that he is like a true wide receiver 1 talent. And if that's the case, I'm banking on him getting most of Jordan Love's like 20 to 25 throws. Dallas Goedert, at this point it was getting kind of spooky at tight end because a few had come off the board. I'm trying to see who went late. Yeah, I don't really love the ones that went late. Jake Ferguson is like the best late tight end, and then Zach Ertz is a good backup because I don't know what he's going to produce from like a scoring standpoint, but he's going to get opportunities. He was a good safety blanket for Giants. So Dallas Goedert's what I got because he is 3rd on guys who could catch the ball in the Eagles offense. He gets hurt every year though, so that's why I got Colston Loveland 2 rounds later. But then the pick that was buried because the ADP wasn't updated was Ja'Cory Krosky Harris. Is that boy name? Is it Ja'Cory or is it? It's Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, a.k.a. Bill, Lil Bill. Yeah, y'all know about Bill? Basically, he got drafted in the 7th round. He played like 1 or 2 games of college last year because of some weird eligibility things, but he's super talented, and the Commanders got rid of Brian Robinson Jr. in part because they feel good about Bill. I think Bill could be the starter. A lot of people think Bill that could be the starter. So his ADP shot up recently to he should have been going closer to 7 or 8. And that's why I jumped on him at 10, even though his ADP was super low. Because I didn't want somebody like Scott or Paul who is looking at this stuff to be like, oh no, I remember this name. I'm going to get him now. So I just dove on him there at 10. We'll see if it works out for me. Who knows? Then got Juwan Jennings. I think he's the closest to being healthy of all of the 49ers receivers. He's a nice receiver 3, so we'll see what happens. Packers defense, that was 100% just because of Michael Parsons. I think they have an otherwise very strong defense. They have Xavier McKinney, who led the league in thinking interceptions last year as safety. I think that if they're getting more pressure from the edges with Michael Parsons and Rashawn Gary, we could be in turnover city, baby. So I like that. I got Geno Smith as my quarterback. I'll be honest, kind of panicked. I just needed to get a backup who wasn't absolute dookie. And was I the last person to take one? No, Tua was the one after that. So it was getting spooky. And then Harrison Butker is my kicker, and Giants defense. So their defensive line could be crazy. Brian Burns is a good player. Dexter Lawrence is an awesome player. And early reports are that Abdul Carter, awesome player. And then they've still got Kayvon Thibodeau, which whatever. But if their defensive line is that good, their defense was good last year, their defensive line could be nuts. Dexter Lawrence is the best nose tackle in the league. He's probably top 3 in defensive tackles overall. Abdul Carter, young player, but really good. Brian Bird's a good player. And if you just give that defensive line a bunch of one-on-one opportunities because you're having to double their 330-pound nose tackle, I like it. So I just think that there's something sneaky about that. So I decided to go two defenses with my last pick. Anyway, who do I think had the best draft? I think the team that I liked the most was, gosh, I really can't stress enough. This is a tough year for me to feel really strong about any team. I think that I liked Mark's the most. I just talked about it the most recently, and I had the least nits to pick about it. And then I think I liked Andy's the least because he really, I think, screwed himself over at running back. Everybody else, I think you'll survive no matter how I feel about your picks. I think Andy really messed up at running back. And again, it looks fine because you know who Alvin Kamara is. Like if you look at Andy's running backs, you're like, oh, Alvin Kamara, Isaiah Pacheco. I like that better than Bucky Irving and Chuba Hubbard. But I don't think that should be the case. What did Pacheco? I'm sorry, Andy. I'm like going in on you inexplicably. What did he finish as? Far as running back. Well, he got hurt last year. Even before that. Yeah, a few years ago, he wasn't doing too bad, though. In 2023, he was the number 15 running back. Yeah. So that's actually not bad. If he can just return to that, that's actually pretty good because that's what Chuba and Bucky were. So he'd be right there, and you got him later. I don't know. Maybe Pacheco's better. I just haven't seen him in a year, so maybe that's not too bad. Maybe you're not too bad, Andy. Anyway, I still think I like your team the least because I just don't believe in Alvin Kamara right now, and every single one of those other running backs, I do not know what their timeshare is going to be like at all. Yeah. So that's it. I probably like Mark's team the most, and then I like Andy's team the least, but these are thin margins, guys. I do not care. I don't love my team. I look at my team and I like my picks. The team as a whole, like whatever, dog. Let's hope for the best. I have rambled on for an hour and 20 minutes. I apologize. I'm so sorry. It's going to take me forever to upload this damn thing. I hope everybody has a great season. I look forward to hopefully getting to see some of you this year. In between me taking care of my 2-year-old who doesn't want to sleep and my 2-month-old who doesn't want to sleep. But until then, peace.